It's setting it up. Setting it up. Okay. All right. All right.
And YouTube just came up on my screen too. So I did nothing. So I have both on my screen now.
I got a different screen. Oh no, I see. There it is. All right. Now I'm okay. All right. We are on live. I will get Gloria and Lisa who are joining us now.
I'm trying to get rid of YouTube.
Okay, I turned mine off at my end, so it should be okay. All right. All right, well, good evening, everyone. My name is Reverend Mary Huber. I'm pastor of the Community Chapel of Holistic Healing. We are a non-denominational spiritual fellowship founded in 1977 by Reverend Michelle Luson, a mystic and channel for the multidimensional consciousness which we carry. She had an apparition of Swami Sivananda in which he asked her to start this organization and to place it in the Washington, D.C. area so that we would be a light for the nation's capital. We are here to aid in personal and global spiritual transformation. We hold chapel services, classes, and teach and offer spiritual healing. Spiritual healing is, of course, now only at the distance healing. And we do have a prayer list, which we that you will be able to access on our website if you would like to add somebody to the list. And tonight's topic is on faith. Now, before we start, we always recite the affirmations of faith, hope, and charity, which are known as the three healers. These were designated as such by Michelle because they do affect all levels of our being and aid in the harmony and balancing of it. I believe in the spiritual existence of myself as a perfect image of the divine creator. In this reflection that is my physical embodiment, I have faith in the supreme guidance of my soul for my balance, my needs, and my opportunities. Outside of myself, there are also perfect images, and nothing can delude my thinking otherwise. Hope affirmation, acknowledging my faith in the omnipresence of my divinity, I hope for realization, awareness, and acknowledgement of the existence of the great I am within myself. The charity affirmation, in understanding faith and knowing hope, I pledge my actions, my desires, and my thoughts to the performances of myself on the physical planes of the earth, to honor, to love, and to enlighten all that is a reflection of the divine outside myself, so that my perfection is imaged back to my creator. So help me God.
So help me God.
Now, perhaps it's because I'm a nurse by training, but I seem to be very, very sensitive to all the many the people are here on the planet who have been affected physically and mentally by this shutdown and the constant threat of viral infection. I hear about panic attacks more often and higher levels of anxiety, even in children, in addition to the increased numbers of physical health problems of various kinds in older adults. Our faith and hope had been shaken severely over the past year or more, and those fundamental anchors will hopefully be restored soon across the board. The feeling of being helpless in the face of such a great physical threat can be remedied. I believe that the average person now wants to have more of a handle on helping themselves become stronger in the face of this or any other health threat that might be on the horizon. Now, our philosophy at CCWH is a holistic one, encompassing body, mind, and soul. This belief is backed up by our motto, as above, so below. Now, that is an ancient saying and can be interpreted correctly in several ways. Spiritually, as it is above refers to the higher dimensions of reality, our divine center of self, our I am presence. And that level of self in each person is a child of God, a perfect creation of the one creator of all the universes. Those who have studied metaphysics know that it is our own I am presence who created us for this experience of being a human on the planet Earth today. The God presence in us inhabits every part of every level of our multidimensional being. That awareness is not present in the day-to-day life of many people on the planet today because they were not taught that. And they grew up in a different environment with different teachings in this society. In fact, there are a significant number who actually believe that God has abandoned them. Of course, that can't even be possible, or they would not even exist. It is the perception through lack of understanding of their own nature, or they would know better. I believe in the spiritual existence of myself as a perfect image of the divine creator. This is the start of the faith affirmation. And just that one statement would lift and heal so much of the personal maladies that individuals might be experiencing. This is the faith that God's asked from each of us. The human experience is a very unique one on the universe. With each incarnation, the soul wipes the memory of our prior existences from the infant. It needs to start fresh each time to set up the lifetime for a particular purpose. These reasons are too numerous and for each of us to go into right now. Every time I think of this spiritual amnesia, I think of Alan Watts, a delightful man born in England, but lived most of his life in the United States. A very accomplished speaker, teacher, writer, and sort of a humorist in the spiritual field, if you've ever heard him speak. And there is a YouTube channel in which you can listen to some of his work. In several of his later publications, notably the book On the Taboo Against Knowing Who You Are, Watts puts forth a worldview in which he maintains that the whole universe consists of a cosmic self playing hide and seek, hiding from itself, which the Hindu traditions called Maya, by becoming all the living and non-living things in the universe and then forgetting what it really is. In one of his talks, not in that book, but in one of the talks that I listened to now, and he said, this is what God actually says. Now, as I'm sending you to the earth, I want you to go and find me. This is actually what is said by all great spiritual teachers. Your purpose in life, every lifetime, is to find God. Just lifts it with his lighthearted presentation, so I like to sometimes quote him. Now, perhaps finding God is not so much the problem for some people as it is in believing that one has found God and then remembering it. To have faith in the God presence within will translate into the next most important realization, and that's faith in self. One of the spiritual diseases prevalent throughout time is a number of individuals who do not have that self-worth and confidence in their own God-given abilities. The value of each life is unmeasurable in God's eyes, and each person can find that out and can be restored by building the way to find the presence within. I know many people become disenchanted even with the world and with, especially now, and what's going on. And Mahatma Gandhi said, you must not lose faith in humanity. Humanity is an ocean. If a few drops of the ocean are dirty, the ocean does not become dirty. So our personal divine plan is about accomplishment of our goals and being happy and fulfilled. Sometimes people forget that. This is a part of life that we can access. We are meant to be happy and fulfilled, along with all of the other accomplishments in our world. And I would also insert her that it is meant to be a healthy existence as well. Now, as a healthcare giver, I believe it is the right of each human to have health on all levels of self. Now, right here, I also want to mention that there are a variety of afflictions which are evident for birth. So I don't want people to say, hey, what about the people who are born with problems? These are reasons under God for that individual, designed in the way that will help them grow as we are growing without those afflictions spiritually. But I have seen many people in this situation over my years in nursing who became a healthier version of themselves when they put effort in this right direction. We're always able to make progress. But people, when you have a bit of, you're not quite as up to par as everyone else, we all need help. So I began by talking about as above, so below. And this lower realm is meant to be patterned after the higher realm. The perfection of our being is meant to be shown in the physical as well. Now, day-to-day life doesn't appear to show that necessarily to us, and it's up to each of us to find a way to accomplish it. We cannot be dependent on outside forces for our total well-being. And it's really becoming evident that we have a lot of help from science and how things have progressed in the world for helping us get well and stay well. But we have to learn on our own that to take care of ourselves. And the older term used for this is natural health. It's indicated our alignment with natural ways and means to support ourselves. And this includes the world above and the world around us as well. We are physical beings, and as such, that part of us belongs to the earth. The earth itself has a relationship with our physical form and can support it. And it does support it. We can bring in so many measures from our natural world to help us get stronger when we're well, and when we're ill, to become better. As a nurse, I knew I was mandated to carry out the orders of the physicians in the hospital where I was working. And so there was no opportunity for me to bring forward any additional help. That was actually not allowed at all, in the form of talking about supplements or herbs or anything else. But I did know about meditation. And it took about a dozen years into my nursing career when I began to realize I could actually begin to share that with the patients. And they were desperate to find anything else that might help their chronic and incurable conditions, because science wasn't catching up fast enough for them in this lifetime. So, starting at the above place, or the spiritual place for them, these people found solace and peace of mind. And these are important in the healing process. I was told psychically somewhere along the way that if I could help somebody find inner peace, it would go a tremendous way to the person actually getting well, getting over what they were suffering from. So I know that that is a fact, and I certainly have seen it in my career as in nursing. So it gives a faith in God that relieves anxiety and worries and the threat of the loss of life. It is the finest coping mechanism ever. Prayer, imagery, and affirmations were added as I studied about the holistic way of life. And today, the efforts of many disciplines are bringing in more of the natural world and natural remedies to mankind. As the science in this field grows, the sophistication increases. Vibration, light, sound are making advances in the healing work. However, the attention by another human who knows how to conduct the spiritual energies will not be replaced ever by a machine. The power of one really attuned to God has that higher power at their disposal. It is by the power of your pure belief that miracles occur every single day. We create our day, we create our reality, and with focus and belief, you can create healing in yourself and in others. Now, how many times in the Bible does it talk about the work of Jesus and him, and as he was saying to many people, by your faith, you are healed. That was an important component, even in his miracles. So our faith in God will always carry us through. So start your healing today. Start by affirming the perfection of your being. That is as God wants it to be. And that everything that is not in divine order, affirm that it will be turned over to God to be transformed and even transmuted. Now, in Greg Braden's book, Spontaneous Healing of Belief, he speaks of a miracle patch, which simply means to believe something so firmly from your heart that it becomes your new reality. And my version of that, I've had a few versions of my own along the many years. And one exercise that I do from time to time is the heart-based energy of saying, I bless, thank you, God, for, and then I enumerate everything around me that I am appreciative of. And I bless these things in my life. Bless your water, your food, that's a no-brainer, but even your appliances, your air conditioning, whatever you have in your house, bless it. Because one day I was told that the reason I was having such good experience with my car was because I actually did thank God so many times for it, that the response from the universe is, well, we'll keep it running for you, apparently. So there are practical implications here. Bless the air you're breathing. Bless everything that is healthful in your life. And then see things surrounded by light. Bless your family and friends, of course. And then bless your neighborhood. And keep blessing everything in the environment that you can find to bless. The trees, the bushes, the grass, the bugs, the birds, whatever. And if you spend enough time doing this, spend as much of a week as you can if you think of it. This creates a whole new thing in your life. If there's a beautiful expression that comes out, your step will be lighter and you'll have much more joy and excitement in your life. I had that happen to me once when I was, I guess, processing something, and I just felt so grateful all day long. I couldn't stop thanking God. Thank you for my life, which is important. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. Thank you. I'm so grateful for this and that. And later, when I got a message from my spirit, it said, well, I wanted to present some things to you today, but I couldn't because you were in this joyful and appreciative mode. And I couldn't bring anything negative, any of these other issues in for you. So I know it happens. I know that it's a law. I know the law is fulfilled. And I know that I think to lift ourselves, to do those kind of blessings and appreciation of life and thanking God for what we have goes an awful long way in spirit as well. So every morning and every evening, if you can think of it, just thank God for your life, just for being alive, and having the Father, Mother, God, your I am present, expressing through you. Christ is always there, waiting for us to attune, to pay attention, and to give loving gratitude back. And when this power is firmly established in you, you can go about your Father's business as did Jesus. Now, I wanted to read a little bit from the well-worn book, The Path of the Universal Christ, because there are so many things that are relevant here, but I can't read a lot more. But it is about something that we talk about in time. It's called the ascension. The ascension flame is we in spirit we can go to these various masters retreats, the ascended master retreats, and the ascension temple is available to us as well when we get to a certain point, if we're accepted in the ascension flame. And that, of course, that's our last grand stand here as a human being on the planet, where we have actually filled all the requirements, and then we are tested in this ascension process and to see if we pass and whether we are able to make that leap permanently into the Christ consciousness. And this, one of the masters is speaking here, and I'm not sure which one because they have a number speaking in the book. It says, behold how the fire of the ascension flowing through and magnetizing one soul to God can create tremors throughout the body of the earth, and even the need for the adjustment in nature that manifest as storms, as cataclysm. You remember the lightning and thunder at the hour of the crucifixion? How well do I remember it? For I have heard that sound and felt that current each time a Son of God has passed the test of the crucifixion, which is us obviously giving up the lower form of and all the attachments. And each time a Son of God returns in the ritual of the ascension. All of nature must adjust to the influx of this great light. Humanity also has to adjust. If this requirement of the law is not fulfilled, then the reason for being, for the being of any world ceases to exist. As long as there are those then who are willing to submit to the disciplines of the hierarch of the Ascension Temple, the world will remain as a place of opportunity for evolving souls. And as long as there is one who ascends, there will always be progress in human evolution. For even science and invention, education, the fields of medicine and healing are quickened and propelled forward by the action of the ascension of just one life. And so you can see when progress is meager, then the earth has gone through the dark age, where there have been times when only one made the ascension. At other periods of great enlightenment and progress, many souls have ascended each year. And so progress on the planet is directly proportionate to the evolution of the individuals. How can we convey these to you who have not experienced the influx of the great current of the ascension spiral, what that energy is? If we say it is like the splitting of 1,000 or 10,000 atoms, and man himself being in the center, shall we say it is like the explosion of worlds or sun centers? Or shall we say that it is like the unfolding of a lily or a rose? You are ascending daily. You are ascending the spirals of your own being and your own consciousness. You are not as you were yesterday or last week. And if you are giving daily devotions to the Most High, you are light years beyond your former self. And thus the days are shortened for the elect. So the progress of humanity, the importance of each soul making their journey, the importance of us helping each other make that journey so that we can be all successful as we can be in each life, is part of the preparation that we go through in order to show that we are ready ourselves. It is our help that we receive from Spirit and those around us, and it is that flow from us that goes out to help others that is also measured in whether we have the right to make those advancements within our spiritual stem. But I do know it helps our health, our vitality. It helps everything in our world to be uplifted, to be better, to be transformed. And in doing so, we also transform the world around us. And with enough people doing these activities and being the kind and searching for the Christ within and doing what is necessary there in order to achieve the Christ consciousness, where the glorious new world is evolving as it should. I have been told that humanity does have a process it has to go through. So when I get a little anxious about, well, this isn't happening fast enough, Spirit reminds me that there is a process that humanity has to go through because of the way they have to evolve as a whole. So there are many to bring up yet. There are many to help out, and that's our position here, and the privilege of serving and being here with the organization and what it can do as a consciousness, a group consciousness. I don't know that we will appreciate it until we get to Spirit ourselves. So I know that everyone here, everyone attached to this organization, those in the higher planes are here with us. And all the unseen threads that we have out there are getting out. Just as a little aside, I had a request for somebody, a woman from Samoa, to join our group. Now, how that got to Samoa, I have no idea. But you don't know where your message goes or what your presence means, because the Spirit on higher planes can use everything at its disposal to help humanity with us not even knowing it's happening. So thank you very much for participating with me this evening. And this is a time where we go on to our meditation.
Taking deep breaths, we feel the solid earth beneath us, deep and strong. We feel our feet become tree roots, reaching down, down, down into the ground. These roots stretch deeper still into the earth, to the earth's warm core. Our upper bodies feel like the branches of a great tree, stretching upwards to the sun. We feel ourselves touch the light of the sun, and the white light of heaven touches us. We feel ourselves surrounded by the light, completely enveloped by the protective light of God. We are safe. Now grounded, connected, and protected, we begin our inner path working. First, we feel ourselves cradled by the earth, not just the ground beneath our feet. We know the earth is alive and powerfully supports all life, providing shelter, resources, stability, and so much more. The earth is our mother, our anchor. Feel how deeply and unconditionally supported you are by the earth. Now take some of your energy and send it, amplified with thoughts of love, gratitude, and grace, back into the heart of the earth. Send your loving, grateful energy into the very earth's core. As you watch, you see the energy spread out from the core and move through the ground. Many channels flow through the earth, and these channels are filled with love and light, with strength and grace. Now the energy of gratitude and grace begins coming to the surface of the earth. It fills the soil, the water, the plants and animals. This loving gratitude spreads and passes to all the sentient beings. Finally, the loving gratitude seems to float upwards permeating the air, the sky, the atmosphere, and truly filling it up. The earth, every part of it, is filled with love and light. Now our souls stretch upwards towards the heavens. We feel the light and love of the heavenly realms, of the angels and saints and God. We rest in that light. We feel how it resonates within us and through us. We feel how strongly a part of that very light dwells in us. And we let that sensation sink into us. We feel how the heavenly light, the presence of God, rains down on all beings of the earth and on the earth itself. We picture the earth with its different ecosystems. We picture the deserts, the valleys, the mountains, and the oceans. All the earth full of the light of God. We can feel the presence of God in the earth all around us. Now we see that spark, that light of God in every animal, in every plant. We see that spark glowing and growing, filling with healing, with peace and light. We see that spark grow. It grows brighter and stronger until it seems to entirely fill up and emanate from the creatures. We feel ourselves, our own bodies, and we feel inside of each of us that spark of heaven, of light. We feel that peace of God, of Christ consciousness. We feel it glow like a candle within us. It grows brighter, becoming a flame, until we feel every part of us is filled with light. The light fills not only our heads, but our minds as well. The light grows. It moves down our necks, into our shoulders and arms. The light moves strongly in our torso, all the way down our spine. The light pools in our hips and down both legs. We are bodies of light. We see the spark of light, the light of God in our loved ones, in family members and friends that we hold as beloved ones. We picture our loved ones, and we clearly see that light of heaven within them and all around them. The light of heaven grows brighter, grows stronger, until it is shining with a brilliant white, almost pearlescent light. This luminosity grows and grows until we plainly see our loved ones as beings of light. Now we picture a crowd of people, but they are strangers to us. We see them, their faces, their features, their forms. But as we continue to focus upon them, we can see the light that is inside of them. And we are very aware that it is the same light we have been sensing in heaven, on earth, in ourselves and our loved ones. This light permeates these people too, even though they are strangers to us. As we watch, it fills them up. The light fills all the people, all these strangers. The light is all around them. It is within them. It is pouring out of them. We become even more aware that the light of God is present in all. Now we picture a group of people, or perhaps even a single person, that we do not like, we do not care for. And we picture them, perhaps standing as a group, perhaps a particular person who we have strong negative feelings for. But we feel ourselves soften our gazes as we imagine them. We lose some focus as we gaze on them and find their edges blurring a bit. And as we do this, we are better able to see the subtle glow that emanates from them. The subtle glow that comes from their very soul and makes them a part of God and the light of God. As we become more aware of this light, we visualize the light of heaven streaming down upon this person or persons. The light encompasses them. It is so bright for a moment we cannot see. We know the light that is inside of them is growing ever stronger, growing ever more pure. The light is around and within them, growing more beautiful and more clear. With this light of heaven, you send a blessing, that the light of God may shine and grow in all, and be recognized. With this blessing in mind, we begin our journey back to our own bodies. We feel our spirits fully return. Taking deep breaths, we have returned to ourselves. Welcome home, and thank you.
Well, thank you, Kelly, for that lovely recorded message. I like to share that often. I was wondering, does anyone like to share anything that you may have perceived during the meditation or came to you?
I would like to share that I identify strongly with the power of faith for healing and for transforming, and the power of these affirmations that help to align our head with our heart, with our hands, so that we can move about in the world successfully and with the light surrounding us and guiding us. We have lots of help if we can go with faith that it's there, it shows up, they show up. Miracles do happen. So thank you for that emphasis tonight. What a beautiful meditation.
Indeed.
Appreciate that.
And thank Kelly for the meditation. Thank you, Mary.
Okay, does anybody else have anything they'd like to say either about the faith or about your meditation, perhaps? We usually give time for this at chapel, and sometimes we have some amazing insights that come to us as we're doing work together, and I always appreciate that.
Mary, I'd like to comment on that meditation. Sometimes personally, I forget that a person that may rouse my energy in a negative way, or bring in a negative thought, is there for a purpose. And we need to identify, not only myself, but others, that when you react very positively or negatively towards someone, that there's really a learning that goes along with that. Thank you, Kelly, for that.
Thank you, Annette, for sharing. Well, before I do close the service, there's a short prayer supposed to be by Saint Germain or from Saint Germain that I'd like to read. It's very short. And this is from the Head, Heart, and Hand Decrees by from Elizabeth Clare Prophet's group, Saint Germain. I am the light of the heart, shining in the darkness of being, and changing all into the golden treasury of the mind of Christ. I am projecting my love out into the world to erase all errors and to break down all barriers. I am the power of infinite love, amplifying itself until it is victorious, world without end. Amen.
Amen.
Well, it is time to close the service, and I thank you for your donations. And while you are in the website donating, you might want to consider becoming a member.
CCWH has been an amazing place for spiritual learning, growth, and value. We will continue to provide value that will enrich your spiritual learning. Donations big and small makes what we do possible. Please help us help you and others by making a donation today. Click here to visit ccwh.com. Thank you.
Mike. Well, thank you all. And good night.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Thanks.
Peace and blessings to everyone.
Yes, thank you.